Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I am here with you from Oregon in the United States and starting tonight here in the Pacific Northwest at 11 p.m. or for other time zones at midnight Mountain Time. Stampin' Up! Is offering 3 days of free shipping on orders of $75 or more. Now, what that means is that your retail cost for product, as long as it's $75 or more, you will receive the free shipping. If you use any discount codes or coupons that will lower the retail amount, that retail amount must be above the $75 mark or $75 or more. Okay? Hope I didn't muck that all up so bad you don't understand. Let's see who we've got on. And I will go over that again for anybody who's jumping on. Making sure that's off. Let's go ahead and see who's on. And wow, let's see, what do I need to do to go? Boop, I want more of my desk to show. Let's see what that does. Did I go the wrong way? Yep, I did. I went the wrong way. Okay, there we go. That's about the best I can do here without moving my stamps that we need. Okay, we're just going to go with that. Hope that works out well for us. Sorry, I might be bumping that camera stand. Okay, there we are. Hello, Cynthia. Welcome, welcome. So glad you could join me tonight. All right. Is everybody as excited about the free shipping offer as I am? Yahoo! Hi, my cart is ready to go. My waiting list is ready to go to add to the cart. And I will be shopping tonight at 11:01. Because that's when our free shipping goes live here in Oregon. All right, so let's go ahead. Again, the free shipping starts at 11:01 p.m. in the Pacific time zone or 12:01 p.m. in the Mountain time zone, 1:01 p.m. in the Central time zone, and then 2:01 in the Eastern time zone. And if you're in Alaska or Hawaii, sorry, I don't know what time zone you're on, but you do, so there you go. All right, we're going to be using some last chance product again tonight. I wanted to use some things that are going away, and some of these things, along with free shipping, are heavily discounted. Okay, so we're going to be using the Enduring Beauty stamp set. It has dies and masks. Okay, so you would not want to purchase this in a bundle. I don't even think it's offered in a bundle, but in any case, you wouldn't want to, because the stamp set itself was $20, now on sale for $14. The masks were $12.50, now they're $7.50. Boop. And the dies were $26, and now they're $10.40. That is a huge savings when you take and put those three together. Over the bundle cost, when it was offered as a bundle, you're saving $18. So I think that's what my friend Laura and I figured out last night. So that is a huge discount And then when you add the free shipping, wow, are you going to score? Okay, so we're using this. Sketched Butterflies is on the last chance list. It is not discounted. And the Sketched Butterflies dies, also on the last chance list, not discounted. We'll be using those two. And we'll be using the Sketched Plaid background. This also is on the last chance list, not discounted. If you don't have this one, you want it. This makes beautiful backgrounds in any color ink you have. Plus you can take your markers and draw in other colors. So like for this one, this sample that I did, I stamped that in Calypso Coral, and then I colored between the lines with my Stampin' Blends to get that that colored background like that. So of course you can use this in many ways and come up with all kinds of different backgrounds. But last chance, cheaper than designer series paper. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to save a little bit of time, so I have already stamped and ink blended some of my design because I wanted to spend some time showing you how to mask the mask. Okay, so let me show you. This is where I started, and this is the card we were going to make tonight. So this card uses the three products I just told you, the Enduring Beauty Bundle, all three pieces, the Sketched Butterflies and their dies, and it uses that Sketched Plaid background. Okay? These colors are Garden Green, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. And it's beautiful. And then I decided to try a multicolored card. And that is where we are going tonight. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to make that multicolored card. But in order to do that, I did the greenery on the stamp before I came on. Okay? And that's just going to save us some time. So let me get my little sticky mat here to hold my card in place. And then we're going to grab those masks. And I'm going to start with mask number 1. And I'm going to put this on just like so. And then we're going to tape this down. I really don't want this to move, and we're going to be doing a lot of inking. So I'm going to use these. Okay. Now, where did I put my Sharpie pen? I'm going to mark this on my glass mat. And if I don't let this sit too long, oops, we got to take that off of there. If I don't let this sit too long, I can wipe it off with my chamois cloth. Otherwise, it just takes an alcohol swab or something with alcohol on it and it wipes right off. But usually after, I can still get it off after an hour. So I've marked my stencil so I can easily line up the next one. Now we're going to start with, I'm going to make this flower and this flower pretty in pink. So I'm going to mask off these two flowers and this flower. Okay, and I'm just going to take some Post-it notes. And I'm just going to cover that up. I'm going to mask the mask. Okay. Get this in here. This one takes a little bit extra. because I need to get this tiny little bit right. Oh, I didn't take off any that had sticky on it. Okay, so let's get this one in here like so. All right, and then I'll take this one and I'm just going to mask this little edge right here. All right, let me take my Pretty in Pink. And I'm going to put some Pretty in Pink on there and on there. And then I'm going to take those off. And let's see, I'm going to make this one Fresh Freesia. So I'm just going to switch this around a bit. Close this up because I'm done with the Pretty in Pink. Get my Fresh Freesia. Hello, Jennifer. Okay, and then we're just going to ink this one up. Just a real soft inking. All right, I need to make some room here. I don't need that. Got rid of that one. Excuse me. And then we're going to use some Daffodil Delight for the other two flowers. So let's get these brushes out of here for the moment. And now we're going to cover up this flower and this flower and mostly this flower, just like so. Okay. And then I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight. I'm going to ink that up. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, so now we've got that. We can pull this mask. Which doesn't want to be pulled. Okay, we'll set that aside. Mask 2 is the leaves, so I'm skipping to mask 3. And I'm going to line this up and make sure. Now I've got those all in the corners and that should line up, but you still need to double check in case you're off just a titch, which that was. Not much, but just a tiny little bit. Okay. And then we're going to tape that down and we're going to mask again. So let's go back to our Pretty in Pink flowers. I'm going to mask that. I'm going to mask this. Okay. Oh, let me switch this because I ripped that one for a reason. Let's do this. And actually, that can cover that. Doesn't matter. Let's get this in here like that. And then let's mask this. Just like that. Okay, just throw that on there. Now we're going to take our Strawberry Slush. This is a new in color. It was an in color in 2013 to 15, but it's coming back for 25 to 27. So I'm going to use the same brush I used for the Pretty in Pink. I'm going to rub some of that off. And then I'm going to put that on there. And I think I covered this little area right here, and I need to lift that up. Okay, so there's our pink flowers, completely done. Now we're going to go back to fresh freesia. And I'm going to push this one off and this one off, and then we'll ink this up like so. Want that to be a bit darker. Okay, got that. Now we have our yellow flowers. So let's go back to our Daffodil Delight. Cover that up. Cover that up. And then we're going to cover that up. Yep, that's going to work. It's going to fit right in that little square right there. And we'll cover that. Okay. And then we're going to take Darling Duckling. And this also is a brand new in color coming out May 6th. Okay, so there we have it. Now we've taken a single bouquet of flowers. Hello, Laura. And we have made that into a multicolored flower using our stencils. How fun is that? Okay, so let's clean this ink off. Clean off our markings. Love this glass mat. Free shipping is an excellent time to pick one up if you haven't gotten one already. And then we're just going to lift this off of our sticky mat there and put this back in, because of course it will get all gunky if we don't. And I just keep it on clear medium envelope. Throw it in my drawer. All right, now we need to cut this. So that's where the dies come in handy. So let's grab our Enduring Beauty dies. And again, these are only $10.40 marked down from $26. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to line this up. And I have my die cut machine on a table right next to me. So I'm just going to take and tape this down so it doesn't move. And I'm going to run it through my die cut machine super fast. And there we have the die cut, all ready to go. All right. And there we are. Now, let's go ahead and finish up the rest of our stamping. We've got a little bit more to go. So let's take our butterflies. Oh, I'm not sure why I pulled that out because all of my dies are right here. I'm going to use this butterfly and then this set of butterflies, which actually comes as a set of 4. I cut mine apart so that I could use them easier. But when I cut them, I cut everything straight across so I can put them back together and use them as they were meant to be used, if I so choose. Since I've cut them apart, I haven't chosen to do that. They're far more versatile this way, in my opinion. I'm going to bring in the rest of that paper there. Yep, I can definitely get these on there. Waste not, want not. So we're just going to stamp that down. And then I'm going to see if I can get these two down here. And there we have it. Okay. Set those aside. All right. And then while that's drying, let's bring in our Stampin' Emboss or our Embossing Editions toolkit. We need a piece of basic black cardstock, which I know I put in here. So let's look at our little envelope. And, well, because we don't need to do that with this one. Oop, got my card confused. We're not doing that. We just need a little piece of white here to stamp our sentiment, and then we're going to cut it out with a die. So let me grab a piece of cardstock that is not quite, because apparently I didn't grab that, which was silly. Okay, and then let's bring in the Wishing You a Beautiful Birthday. This is from that Sketch Butterfly. And we're going to stamp this in black. Okay. We better go this way because I'm not sure how my die is going to fit that. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's move that out of the way. Now, let's go ahead and stamp our background. And let's take our piece of white. This should be a 1/4 sheet of cardstock, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's the way I like to do my backgrounds, so that if I mess them up, I can cut something off that I don't want. Okay, so where did I set that sketch plaid? So we're going to take the sketch plaid background. Thanks, Jennifer. Glad you like that. So I'm going to take this sketch plaid background, and I'm just going to put that down on my glass mat. It's going to stick, and it's not going to move. And then I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper, which I put in here conveniently, and then I opened the wrong drawer. So we've got a scrap piece of paper. I'm just going to ink this up, upside down, like so. Get that all nice and inky. Close that up. I'm going to take my piece of basic white, and I'm going to set that down, and then I'm just going to rub that. I'm going to hold on tight so it doesn't move. I'm going to rub all over that to make sure I get everything good. Okay. I'm going to lift off my scrap paper. Lift off my basic white, and there is my plaid background. Now, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and clean this off. Our chamois cloth. And put that away. Okay, so we've got that. Yay! Now, we're going to go ahead and trim this down to 4 by 5 1/4. And if I didn't get it straight, this is where I can fix it up. Okay, now I've got a straight edge there. So now I'm going to trim 1/8 of an inch off of each side to bring it down to 4. And then I don't like how that bottom is. So I need this to be 5 1/4. Nope, I'm going to have to cut it. Let's see if I can do this. I'd like to take a little tiny bit of that top off. Can I do that and still get it? Nope. Okay, well, I'm going to have that top. I don't necessarily love the top the way it is, but it's going to be okay. Okay, so now we've got that piece ready to go. We need to die cut our sentiment. So let's bring in that sketched. No, we don't want the sketch butterflies. We're using the die from the Enduring Beauty. There is a nice label in here. We're going to use that. And this fits, so if you put the edge of the stamp right above the wishing you, put that straight on there, center that up, then you'll get a really nice looking sentiment. So I'll go ahead and run that through the die cut machine off to my right real fast. And there is our sentiment, ready to go. Now what do we have left? We need to color and cut our butterflies. Okay, and I've already got those done, actually, so I'm just gonna show you how I did them real quick so we don't have to cut them again, because these two have to be fussy cut. There's no die for that. All right, so this is the main one. I want to show you what I did, because I took a mix of, where did I put my mark? Oh, I hid them behind the computer. I hid them behind the computer. Let me grab those, silly me. So this is what we're going to use for our butterflies. Okay. Oh, and wait a minute, I need different colored butterflies, so we are going to have to cut. We are going to have to color those, because those are not in the colors that I want them. Oops. Okay, so for our butterfly here, we're going to take the Strawberry Slush Stampin' Right marker. This will be in the online exclusives on May 6th for customers. And I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to go around the outside edge here. Like so, and then fill that in. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this section of the wing. And I'm going to keep rotating. Okay. I have to recolor my butterflies because my original butterflies were cut and colored for the original card. Not for the multicolored card. So then I'm going to take my light. This is not the right color. My light and dark, pretty in pink. And I'm going to start with the dark. And I'm going to flick some color up. And flick some color up. And then I'm going to fill that in with the light. Okay, and then we're going to use the light smoky slate just to color up that body. Okay, for the butterflies, we're going to do one butterfly. Come on. Thank you. And some lemon lolly. This is the dark. And then I'm going to take the light and fill that in. And then we're going to take the light and dark fresh freesia. Start with the dark. And then finish with the light. Okay? And there are our butterflies. Now, this one's already cut and colored. So we just need to do these two. Okay? So I'll just give these a quick little fussy cut because there's no die. And if there was, it would be a die that, well, no, they probably would have stamped them in 4s and then give us one die to cut 4. But they did not. So, fussy cut it is. And I just move the paper with my left hand and cut with the right. There we go. That is done. And then we're going to do our lemon lolly. Cutting off the excess that I don't need so that the paper doesn't get in my way when I'm trying to turn. I don't want it getting jammed up in my scissors. Okay. And we'll get a hold of that and cut that. There we go. All right. And here is our other butterfly all ready to go. All right, we're ready to assemble this card. We have all of our pieces. Let's get our card base. It's a card base in basic black, which apparently I forgot to score at 4 1/4, 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side. And we'll give that a quick fold. I like to tuck those down on the edges. Hold tight, take my bone folder, and give it a good crisp edge. Okay, then we can add this with some Stampin' Seal. To our card base. Just going to center that up. And then I'm going to take my flowers. And I'm going to turn up the edges here just a little bit with my thumbnail here. Flick it up, being careful because I don't want to rip it. But I want to give these edges just a little bit of dimension. And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to put this flower on here, like so. And take my sentiment. that out about right here. And then we'll take a Stampin' Dimensional. Cat's outside my window meowing because she wants in the house. And I have the window open so she can hear me talking. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's go ahead and we're going to put this in here like that. I want it to interact with the sentiment label a bit. I'm going to get a small strip for this butterfly. And I'm going to take that off of here because I want that to be shorter than the side there. I might have cut it too thick. Well, we'll see. Yep, it'll work. I'm going to poke my little tweezers in there so that'll come up. Oh, and let's give those wings a little curl so the butterfly looks like it's flying. And then we'll add our little yellow butterfly. I'm just going to take a real thin, I'm just using the edge of my mini dimensionals. They're great for these little projects. And then we'll curl those wings up a bit. Set this about right here so it looks like he's resting on the edge of that flower. And then we'll add some gems. And this card will almost be finished. Okay, so let's bring in the flat adhesive. No. That's the wrong ones. Where are my shimmer gems? Where did I put them? I had everything all stacked right here, ready to go. And now I can't find my shimmer gems. Where did you go? Oh my goodness. Yeah, they are hiding good. Hiding. Well, you know what? We might not have shimmer gems because this is what I can find at the moment. And I know those are right here in front of my face. I just cannot see them. Because this happens to me all the time. I had it all stacked up with my supplies and then I moved things around, of course, to use them. And now I just can't find those gems. Okay, so we're going to take these. We're going to go 1, 2. These are on the last chance list, and I believe these are discounted. So there we have it. There is our card. Now let's take the inside, and I'm going to grab the May All Your Wishes Come True, and this is from the Unbounded Love stamp set, which is current. And I'm just going to stamp this right here, like so. A little butterfly in the bottom. And while that's drying, we're going to cover this side. Take some Wink of Stella shimmer spray, which is Wink of Stella mixed with alcohol. And I'm going to give that a quick little spritz. wipe up anything that oversprayed. With my little chamois from my glass mat studio. And then we're going to add this to the inside. And there we go. Okay, there is card number 1. Hello, Mary. Thank you so much. And this is the matching envelope. All right, so let's go ahead and try to clear up some of my mess so I can do the next card and actually be able to find things. That would be lovely. Okay, so let's see what we don't need. We don't need Enduring Beauty. We don't need the Plaid. So let's get rid of those totally. We're going to use the sketched butterflies for the next one, and we're going to be using a lot of butterflies. Okay. And then for this one, we're going to be using the Wonderful Thoughts stamp set and the matching dies to cut out our sentiment. Okay, and then the last item we're going to be using is a sneak peek item called Gallery Blooms Dies. It does come as a bundle if you so choose. And this will be available beginning May 6th. And I do not know where I put my Gallery Blooms stamp set. It is not in the G's. Oh, because I stuck it clear back at the bottom. This is what the stamp set looks like. That coordinates with these dies. You'll be able to get them in a bundle. We're going to be using this die today and not the stamp set. And let's try putting that in the G's so I can find it. Okay, so let's get started. We've got a lot of stamping to do. And then I saved you all. I'm going to show you. Okay, what did I do with that? Oh my goodness. Crazy. Oh, no, I didn't put it on the back. Okay, so we're going to start with a piece of basic black cardstock. And again, obviously I didn't score the other one, so I didn't score this one because I generally cut them in half and score them at the same time. So let's go ahead and score this one at 4 1/4. So our card base is ready. Then let's grab a piece of basic white cardstock, and we're going to cut this one to 4 by 5. No, yeah, 4 by 5 1/2. That's why I don't understand. I know I cut this. I wonder what I did with it. 4 by 5 1/2 is what we're going to cut this. Okay. And then we're going to do a bunch of stamping here. Okay. So we're going to start with the largest butterfly. And I'm going to ink that up. And I need that scrap paper. Okay. I'm going to put this down here like so. And then we're going to take the next largest butterfly, stamp that down here, stamp it over here. And yes, I'm going off the paper. And then where's my half butterfly here? And we're going to put this in here, Put a little bit down here. Then let's take this butterfly, put some in here, put another butterfly up there, and then we're going to go to our little butterflies. I'm going to put some of those. Okay, and then we're going to fill with these other ones. Over here, and I want a partial butterfly over here, and let's go ahead and put this butterfly right there. All right, so there is our piece, and then we need to color that. Okay, so these are our Stampin' Blend markers that we're using for that. I did also use the Stampin' Write marker, like I showed you before. So here are our colors. Let me get these together here for you. Choo-choo. All right. So those are the markers that I've used. Okay. And through the magic of television, voila, here is our colored piece. I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me do all that coloring. It was quite relaxing last night. So again, here are those colors. All right. You could also do this completely in black and white if you wish. And I think I might finish a card with this black and white piece without coloring it and see, just to see what it looks like. All right, so let's take this piece now, and we're going to take our Gallery Blooms die. I'm going to take that frame, and this is just one die. Okay, I'm going to put this on here. Like so. Tape that down so it doesn't move. And then I'm going to run that through my die cut machine, which again is off to my right. Okay. Let's move these. And then when we take this off, you have this little piece left, which you could do something with if you wanted. I'm not going to. And then you have this piece. And this piece. And this piece. Okay? So that is pretty cool. Thanks, everybody. I'm glad you liked that last card. So we're going to take this now. I'm going to bring in our card base. Let's go ahead and get our sentiment ready. Okay. I need a piece of basic black for that. We're going to bring in our Embossing Additions toolkit and the Basics white embossing powder from Wow. Okay, I'm just going to get that ready to go. Set that in my tray. Use my embossing buddy. Get the Versamark ink pad. I'm going to take the Thinking of You from Wonderful Thoughts and ink that up really well. Center that up right there. Let that sit and stick for a moment. Lift that off. And then I'm going to take this. We'll put our white embossing powder on there. Pour that back. Tap it off. Okay, I've got a little fleck here that I don't want. It's not going to come off either. And I don't think I got enough right there in that one spot. So let's do that again. Okay, I better put this cap on because you know me, I'm going to knock that over in a heartbeat. And let's set that completely out of my way so I can't mess it up. Okay, I've got a couple of little pieces here. I'm going to take a fine paintbrush and just wipe those away. Okay, just because I don't want those to heat emboss there. Okay, take that, give it a quick little tap again. I'm going to heat up my heat tool. And then we will melt this powder. And that looks pretty good to me. Do you see anything I missed? Nope, that's looking really good. Okay, so that is that, all done. Now let's go ahead and die cut this with the coordinating die. I love this Wonderful Thoughts stamp and die set because you can stamp that Thinking of You or any of the other sentiments in that set. And there is a die to cut it out, so you don't have to fussy cut it. Woohoo! Lined up there the way I want it. That's looking pretty good. Take that down. Run that through the die cut machine. And there we go. Okay. Oh, so right out of there. Okay, let's put this die away. All right, I think we have all of our pieces now. Let's go ahead and fold up our base. And then I have two pieces of block cardstock. This first piece is cut at 1 3/4 by 3 1/2. This piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 4 7/16. And the 4 7/16 is one tiny little tick mark below 4 1/2. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on our card base. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, make sure that's right side up when we do it. Okay, and we'll center this as best we can. It's going to be wider on the sides than it is on the top and the bottom, because that's the way the frame cuts. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's put that down. Then I'm going to take this outer piece and I'm going to take my 2 3/4 by 4 7/16 and I'm going to attach the inner piece to that and line that up. And I made a tiny 1/8 inch border. Here. Okay, now we're going to add this to here, but let's put this on here first. And got that tiny 1/8 inch border. And yep, this piece is going to be just a little bit long. So we're going to have to trim it. It was very hard to measure. It wasn't quite a 1/16. So I'm just going to take and put this in my little trimmer here, stick that out, and take a hair off of that so that that looks like it's better, more proportionate. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to put some Stampin' Seal in here. We're going to line this up, making sure that our lines match. Looking everywhere to make sure it all lines up, edges to edges. Okay, we'll put that down. This is called triple time stamping. And then we're going to put this in. This die makes triple tie stamping so easy. And there is the front. So now let's go ahead and pop up our sentiment. You could easily do this card by taking a piece of designer series paper using that die and making the designer series paper the star of your card. Oops, I've got just a tiny little bit hanging over here that I don't want. See if I can move that. Let's see if it wants to be moved. Ooh, it does. And then we'll just find a spot in here where we think it looks good. And we'll put that thinking of you down. Okay, now let's add our pearls again. The flat adhesive back pearls. And we're just going to stick them. Let's see, let's put one up here, one here, and then we'll put another one right there. All right. That is the front of a card. Now for the inside, oh, that's why I couldn't find that. Thinking of you. Because this is the inside to the other card. I put the wrong inside in the wrong card, but it's okay. Let's quickly do card inside. No problem. We will just, I don't want this one to say may all your wishes come true. So let's just take our stamps. I didn't want a sentiment in this one. Because I don't know what I'm thinking about you. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll add a sentiment in when I know why I want to send the card. And we will be good. And I'm not going to color those. It is perfectly okay to stamp in black and white for your inside and leave it. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so there's our card. And there is our matching envelope. We've got that one. Here's the other card we made tonight using the Enduring Beauty. I hope you enjoyed that. And before you go, oh, look, I found the shimmer gems underneath the free shipping flyer. As a reminder, free shipping for the next 3 days on orders of $75 or more, retail, and that is after any discounts or coupons that you've used and before tax and shipping. Okay, oh, well, there won't be any shipping. So there you go. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Laura, I'm glad you liked that technique, and I will see you all Thursday night on YouTube. If not, we'll be back here next Tuesday at 7. Good night. Thanks, everybody.